Okay, everybody, getting live. Got to adjust these windows here. So give me 1 second. And get everything just adjusted. There we go. Oh, what are we doing? Okay. All right, there we go. We are live. Let's move the camera in a little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. There we go. Now, there we go. Right about there. Let's have it focus. There we go. Okay. Hey, Liz, I'm actually on time. How's everything been going? Well, I'm sort of on time. Still a little bit late. But you would be proud of me. I was on time on Mondays. So we're dialing in. We're getting there. Okay, let's have a drink of water here. Let's get this going. Hopefully you guys can hear me and see me. It's kind of my hope. A dream, if you will. Yeah, everything's going good. Everything's going good. Getting stuff in order. You haven't been around, so we're actually going to be doing a class, me and my mentor, on developing psychic and mediumship ability. And we're going to have it be 2 days instead of the 6-week course. So it would be more of an intensive over 2 days. So it would be a few hours each day, from what I'm understanding. And it would be $40 for the 2 days. So if you guys are interested in developing that, it's either going to be August, October, or November. There's certain things going on in his world, so he can't quite confirm anything yet, but be planning on around that time. And he'll actually have 2 teachers, so me and another medium, someone I really look up to, so I think that will be fun. Okay, so with that being said, kind of get in on the list while you guys can, because I'm going to be taking my time with these. I'm thinking of doing limited readings where it's kind of like when I start out, whoever's here, whoever kind of comes in first gets the reading. But let's aim for maybe 5 or 6 readings, maybe 7 tonight, because I like to take my time and I like to answer these questions. So if you guys are wanting your questions answered first, then please go ahead and pay right now, and then we can get everything going that way. I am going to be doing the generals first. So let's see what we get here. Just give me 1 second here. Okay. Let's get this going. Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good to have that course up and running, ready to go. And we can learn a little bit of different forms. I think each person, each medium that's more developed will have their own teaching style, and so yeah, I think that'll be fun. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Let's see what we can do. So we're going to be reading for June. There isn't a 31st. So let's read for July 1st and July 2nd. So Thursday and Friday. So you guys are more than welcome to pick a pile. That will absolutely help things. If not, I can just read pile 1. But I'm just going to be shuffling here for a minute, and then have a moment where I realize I didn't light my incense, and then I'm going to go over and actually do that. So give me 1 second here. I had everything ready to go, except for the incense. And that's nonsense. It's not right. So give me just a minute, you guys. Let's see what we can do here. Alright. Take this one here. Let's empty this out a little bit. And badoom. I don't know what flavors these ones are, you guys, but they will be good regardless. I do believe. Okay, where is the lighter? Hazel, did you move the lighter? Did I? Okay, gonna grab the lighter. I'll be right back. Let's see. There we go. Okay. It just seems like I'm being weird with those. For some reason, they keep not being lit all the way, so I have to really stand over and make sure to get them lit. Okay, so let's shuffle these ones a couple more times and do these other cards. And then we'll do pile 1 and pile 2 for Thursday. One more. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Let's move on to the Energy Oracle deck. Let's do this again here. Let's do it a couple more times, in fact. Thinking I need to get some new cards. Some of these cards are starting to lose their lamination, so it's when you know you've been using them a little too long. Here's what I'll do, Liz. I will talk a little louder. Hopefully that helps. And then I will scooch in a little more here. There we go. I have like a, I believe they're called a shotgun mic, so I need to kind of position myself kind of in front of it as much as possible. I'll try to increase my vocal volume as much as I can. But thank you, Liz, for telling me. All right, one more shuffle with these ones, and then we'll move on to these next ones. And I'm feeling spirit here already, so I think these will be some interesting messages. Okay, and please, if you guys do donate, please let me know. Let me know that you donated, so that way I don't look at my phone 20 minutes later and realize you guys donated a long time ago, and then I get the orders mixed up. So just let me know. Okay. Let's get this going here. Okay. All right. So let's do pile 1, pile 2. Okay, so you guys can pick pile 1, pile 2 while I take a drink, or we can just read pile 1 because feels like that's a good place to start. But let me take a drink here. Okay, let's do pile 1. Let's see what we can get. So we've got the World card. Okay. Liz says pile 1. Okay. And then we have the Two of Cups. Okay. And then we have the Ace of Cups in reverse in the other deck. All right, so these cards right here, when we have the Ace of Cups in reverse, and then the Two of Cups, and then the World card, there could be someone on Thursday. There could be a... Come on now, focus. Let's do this a little bit then. Okay, there we go. All right, so we could be having a situation where there could be someone coming in, and they could be a water sign individual. The only reason I say that is because... Hi, Icy Trotta. I'll read the cards here. Welcome to the channel. So Ace of Cups in reverse, to me, would mean there could be a new connection coming in, but maybe we're not necessarily open to this connection. So it could be a love connection, or it could be an emotional connection, because the cups usually deal with emotion, with feeling. So when I see this in reverse next to the Two of Cups, we could be having someone reaching out to us, maybe offering us something, but maybe we're not in the right space to take it. So there could be a new, a possible new love prospect coming to us on, I'm going to say, well, Thursday. That's when this reading is for. But I'm also feeling that this could be something where it kind of takes us off guard. Okay, so that's good, Liz. That's awesome. This one to me is taking us off guard because the reason I see Ace of Cups in reverse and then the 2, we could be having someone else that we're hung up on. There could be another person. So if this person says something or if something's going on for some of us, it could be that it's just not, we're not able to reciprocate. There could be something like that going on where there's interest, but we're still trying to figure things out. The World card is really good, though, because this is showing to me that there is progress that's being made. So on Thursday, that to me feels like it's going to be a progression day where I feel like it won't necessarily be like a triggering day. There will be some things that happen emotionally because we do have the Ace of Cups in reverse. But ultimately, this is a good reading right here for Thursday, for pile 1. I do feel like this is going to be good, but be aware of things that you're doing that are limiting your own sense of self-worth. Be aware of habits that you have that are making you not feel so good. So focus on getting rid of things that don't make you feel the best. That could include people as well, like cutting out people, getting rid of certain things, not tolerating toxic behavior, right? Because we talk about that a lot on the channel. It's just going to be a day where we're focused more on, to me, there is going to be other people around. Like I said, possible love prospects, but the important thing here is how do we feel when we're around these people? And if there's a new love prospect, how could we feel around that person? Not what do we want to feel around the person, but how do we actually feel? Sometimes we get in situations where we want something so bad that we don't necessarily see it for what it is. So it's important to take a step back and really focus on how we feel with the person, right? And so that's something that I feel like is really important for us to focus on. But I feel like this could be good. I do feel like this could be good. So let's do this here. And Liz, is it a Scorpio? Or is it a... Scorpio came to me. Let's look at pile 2. Okay, so pile 2. Pile 2, we have the Devil. Sorry about that. The Devil. This card right here, I'll explain what all these mean in a minute. Then we have Cornucopia. Then we have Cornucopia in reverse and 5 of Wands in reverse. And so when I see these right here, like I was talking about getting rid of things that no longer... He is a Scorpio. Okay, perfect, perfect. I did have a feeling with that. Nothing else came in, but Scorpio came in, and so I was just thinking I would throw that out there. I'm trying to trust my gut more and go with it instead of just being quiet. Because there's a lot of messages I get I never say, so I'm gonna try and break my silence with the messages, because you don't have to worry about me not talking. That's something I'm not the best at. Okay, so pile 2, the Devil card, Cornucopia in reverse, and 5 of Wands in reverse. So we could be dealing with addiction here. We could have a situation on Thursday where we have so much and maybe we feel like we have too much. So we could be looking at Thursday being a day where we're like uncluttering ourselves, or we're really trying to get rid of those things that are stopping us from accepting our own place in this universe. And what I mean by that is sometimes, hi Amber, sometimes we have so many possessions or so many like things that we do that they sort of possess us. So Thursday could be a day where we're getting rid of things. Thursday could be a day where we're looking at, it could be recycling, it could be selling stuff on eBay, right? That to me is something that I feel like could be going on here. Cornucopia in reverse and 5 of Wands in reverse, though, could be that maybe we have something happen. Maybe something could be taken from us, right? Something could be taken. But primarily what I'm feeling here is that we're going to be shown relationships, an up close kind of view on how relationships are affecting our life. Okay. Why would that? Barksdale came into my head for some reason. I'm trying to think. New Barksdale or Barksdale something. Anyway, relationships, examining the link between two people, examining the connection between two people is going to be coming in here. There's going to be a sense of flowing, right? And when I'm talking about flowing, I'm talking about let's pay attention to what we do when we're on autopilot. Because a lot of us go on autopilot, and I kind of want us to check into the cockpit and say, what the hell's going on, right? I want there to be some accountability for how we are acting when we are kind of, like I said, on autopilot. A lot of life is mundane, a lot of life is boring, and we kind of just sort of zone out and let something else take over. So this might be a time for us to check in with ourselves and realize kind of unconscious behavioral patterns. So the Devil is a card where we're dealing with addiction. We're dealing with extreme ways of thinking. There could also be on Thursday, there could be a Capricorn individual coming in as like a signifying card, because Capricorn is the devil. And I know that sounds bad the way I said it. The Capricorn isn't actually the devil, but in the tarot, you know. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm getting here, right? It doesn't mean anything really bad. It's just kind of like there's that kind of temptation. Why are deliveries on a ship called cargo, but in a car it's called a shipment? See, that's a good one, Alexis. That's good. That's good right there, because I really don't know. I really don't know on that one. I wish I had some stuff to give back there. Okay, but let me do this one right here. I didn't read this card. I was too busy reading the other part. 5 of Wands in reverse. This one right here is that we could be in a situation where there could have been a friendly competition kind of going on. Something could have been happening, but now it feels like we're focused more on, maybe we're trying to do something to prove a point, or we're trying to show people that we can do something. I don't want us to get caught up in this behavior, because we could be attaching our expectations to a certain outcome in life, and this makes it so that we are no longer flexible. We're no longer flexible, we're no longer adaptable, because we've attached ourselves to a fixed outcome. So no matter what happens, if we let ourselves be adaptable, we let ourselves flow with things, we can handle whatever comes to us. As soon as we start becoming rigid, though, then we fall down and we shatter, right? When we're flexible, if we fall down, we can get back up, we can lift back up. But I want you to think of it that way, okay? So let's do this here. Let's move on to Thursday and go from there. Let's see what we can do here. Let's do this one. Let's do here. How have things been going, Amber? Let's do one more here. Boom. There we go. Let's shuffle these ones. So this is going to be for Friday, you guys. That's a really good one, Alexis. I don't know. I don't know on that one. I'm going to say a little from column A and a little from column B. But if you just clean to the floors and then you drop soap, the soap is still clean. Pretty sure. Good, Amber. Good, good, good. Okay. Let's do one more here. Alright, let's do... I know this part takes a second, guys, but really want to make sure. Hey, Bones of the Story, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. Okay. Okay, I got that one, Alexis. If you get out of the shower clean, how does your towel get dirty? Because of you're wet, and then there's like mold and stuff that grows on the towel. Okay. It will be heavy, Amber. It will, and those are some topics, right? Those are some topics that, yeah. Is it resonating with you? Is it, sorry. Is it resonating with you and kind of what's been going on? I just want to make sure that they're a good fit for you. Because those are not easy topics, my friend. Those are not. But in time, we start to make moves and we start to make the right steps where we can make better choices in our life because we're owning a part of our story that happened and we're moving forward with it. Instead of trying to leave something behind or trying to not uncover ourselves fully, we allow ourselves to be very vulnerable, understand everything, incorporate the whole self, and then we can make better decisions overall. So Amber, I'm super proud of you that you're on that journey, and yeah. Thank you, Bones of the Story. Yeah, it's a fun background, I think. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you doing? Okay, you guys, please feel free to continue chatting in the chat. You know, don't feel like you have to stop when I'm doing the generals. I enjoy having an active chat. So, if we have watermelon, shouldn't we also have fire melon, earth melon, and air melon? The elemelons. The elemelons. That's good. That's good. I hate that does it for me. I hate that that's funny to me because I've got the most dad sense of humor, and I do have animals. I don't have a kid, but anyway. All right, let's look at this here. Okay. Let's see what we got here. So hold on one second, you guys. All right, Amber is first up on the list after the generals. Thank you, Amber. Thank you again. You've always been great with just helping to support the channel. So, Amber for 3 questions. Okay. You want to get your auras professionally taken. Any recommendations? So we're talking about Kirlian photography. Is that what you're talking about? Kids and animals have something in common. Seeing as we were speaking of the two, what's in common, Alexis? Take a drink here. They're both wild. Yes. Children have a childhood and animals have a wildhood, right? I would feel like that sort of makes sense. Okay, let's do this here. Let's get this going. And then, I'm trying to think here. Had something I was going to say. I wasn't sure. Anyway, let's get on to the reading. So let's do pile 1 here. And this is for Friday. So this is for Friday, July 2nd. Let's see what we got. So on Friday, we have okay. Okay, bones of the story. We'll get to your question here in just a minute, and I'll try and spend a little bit more time on that. We're doing the generals now, but I absolutely want you to keep asking questions. I'm not super sure on the like the methods they use for aura photography. I've never actually had it done myself, so I can't help you a ton. I just know that it's called Kirlian photography and that there's apparently different ways to do it, but I have not kept up on it. I know other things though. I know other things. So sorry if I can't be a huge help there. Okay, awesome. Okay, so for Friday, okay, this is still the generals. We have victory in reverse or defeat upright. No, I'm just kidding. Son of Wands in reverse, and then the Magician. That is a good one, Alexis. I've heard that one before. I like that one because it encompasses all the shapes, and so to me it's a good question though. But a circular pizza box would just be, it's harder to, like, I'm going too Virgo on you. I'm going to go too Virgo on you. I'm going to take it literal, and then I'll be here and we'll just be talking about pizza all night, which sounds awesome. But okay, so Son of Wands in reverse, victory in reverse, and then the Magician upright. So we could be having some manifestation difficulties, or we could be manifesting things in our life that are more difficult for us to attain. So this, to me, this is something that we do, okay? This is something I've done many times. Maybe you guys can relate, maybe you can't. But let's talk here. So a lot of times when we're trying something new, when we're trying to get something going, we're trying something new, we attach expectations on ourselves. I mentioned this just a minute ago, but we attach very big expectations, right? A lot of the time, especially if we've grown up in narcissistic abuse situations or if we've had very, difficult childhoods, we can be perfectionists. And this can make it hard for us to sort of move into something and not have expectations because we already feel like we should be an expert at the new things that we try. And so it's hard for us to humble ourselves because we have these expectations. So learning new abilities, having something where we're humbled doesn't happen too much. So the best thing we can do, especially if we grew up in situations that were more difficult, is when we set a goal for ourselves, we set small goals, attainable goals. There you go, bones of the story. She answered the age-old question, which is good. That's really good. But why did the chicken cross the road? Because reality is an illusion, and no, anyway. So the magician, though, here, manifestation, son of wands. So we could be just trying to manifest something too fast. It doesn't happen, and then we disappoint ourselves. So the best thing to do is to celebrate small steps or small goals. Whatever it is we're wanting to do. Let's say, for the sake of something, for me personally, let's say I want to edit a video, right? And I want to put it on my YouTube channel. So I can say I'm going to learn everything I can about editing in a day. Like, I'm just going to really, because I want to overwhelm myself and shock my system, I'm going to try and learn everything in a day. And then when that does not happen, I'm sad, I'm disappointed, and then my brain says, see, I told you so, you couldn't do it. The reason I couldn't do it was because I said I only gave myself one day to master a rather complex topic. So what we can do instead is we can learn very small things. We can learn basic things. We can learn the basics of editing, in a few days. We can learn how to do different things. So it's called chunking. And so we're taking something and we're making it into smaller, more actionable steps. Instead of having this really big thing, we have smaller, more actionable steps that we can take to achieve smaller things that over time become much bigger things. Because if we're slowly walking towards our goal, okay, we're not running there, we're not sprinting there, but we're slowly walking, eventually we get there. But when we run, sometimes we have to rest in between. So what I'm saying is pacing ourselves, giving ourselves actual expectations of basically no expectation, just us learning. Let ourselves learn. Let ourselves be part of that journey, and then we can keep it moving. So that's what I'm seeing that could be difficult here. The Magician is the manifestation card. Okay. Victory in reverse is us not feeling like we're manifesting, us not feeling like we're getting anywhere. Son of Wands in reverse could be us dealing with very extreme ways of thinking. So it has to be this way or else it's not good enough, right? And I feel like when we give the universe an ultimatum of it has to be this way or not at all, the universe says, oh, really? Well, then I will make it a way that you're not expecting. And we're kind of like giving the universe an ultimatum. And you don't want to do that because you don't win against the universe, right? If you won and you ascended and you were no longer part of the universe, great, but we're always part of it. And it has a plan. It has like kind of this design. And we can go with that willingly or we can be kicking and screaming, but the universe kind of has a way of sort of pulling us along for the ride, so to speak. So this right here, just take your time, learn something slowly over time. Don't feel like you have to do everything all at once. That is the sure way to fail. Instead, like I said, chunk it down. If you have something you want to do, give yourself a few weeks to try and learn the basics. Give yourself time to do something so that we don't say to ourselves, see, I told you I couldn't do it, when in fact we just set our expectations up way too high, and then when we fail, we berate ourselves. I don't want us to do that anymore. I know because I've done it many, many, many times, and I'll probably still do it. But eventually I'll learn, eventually we're all trying. We're all trying to do our best. Okay. So let's move on to this one here. Give me 1 second. Okay. So we're moving on to this one. We've got, again, okay, this is interesting. So this is on Friday, still the general. This is pile 2 on Friday. So this is like Friday Part 2 or Friday, you know, the sequel. Okay, so we have, wow, that is some stuff. Okay, I'll show you this because this is fascinating. We have the Sun card in reverse. We have Yin Yang upright, and then we have the World in reverse. Okay, there is a lot of energy here, a lot of energy. So the World card is about making progress, and it's about kind of, I feel like it's not limiting our journey. However, when the World is in reverse and the Sun is in reverse, we are resisting a major changing point in our life. I'm feeling like things are happening for us or to us, and I'm feeling like we need to change with it, or it's going to be some very difficult lessons. Yin and Yang right here, being right in the middle, first off, and then literally showing the sun and the moon. We don't have the sun and the moon, we have the sun and the world, but the energy here is that we're blocking our own sense of progress and manifestation, like I was talking about earlier. We are blocking something out. We're blocking out. So my heart right here is starting to, it does this thing sometimes when I'm picking up psychic messages, and it starts to kind of hurt or ache a little bit. So this right here, to me, this is maybe we're burned out. Maybe we're giving too much of ourselves to people that don't understand us. That could be something going on. We're giving 110%, 100% of the time. And I'm feeling like we could be not letting ourselves rest, or we could be thinking that rest is equal to failure, right? A lot of, myself included, always got to be moving, always got to be doing something, or I can feel pretty guilty about it. So I'm working on trying to keep in this energy. The energy of letting ourselves rest, the energy of knowing that it's okay for us to take a break for a minute. It's okay for us to do something, to be human, right? So the World in reverse, Yin Yang, and the Sun card. These to me are definitely get out of our own way. Don't step into our own way. Don't sabotage ourselves anymore. Look at why we do the things we do. Look at what's going on with us. And eventually we can learn more and more about ourselves in the process. It's kind of like, so I want you guys to do this. I've been learning this along the way. I'm going to be learning a lot more. But let's check in with ourselves, okay? Let's check in with ourselves during the day, and let's say we can put our hand right on our heart, and we can say, what am I feeling? What am I feeling? And I know that sounds arbitrary. I know, I get how it sounds. But if we focus on how we're feeling, instead of saying I'm feeling anxious, or I'm feeling this way, or I'm feeling that way, let's change that. Let's have it be, I'm feeling, maybe I'm feeling scared. Maybe I'm feeling shame. Maybe I'm feeling despair. Maybe I'm feeling, there's different feelings that we can have, and I want us to focus on identifying what those are, what triggers those feelings, and then how we can get better from there. That's kind of the main thing. Awesome. Awesome, Amber. I'm glad. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second, you guys. But that's what I'm seeing here. So hi. Here's a funny story. I'm glad this is resonating, Amber. I'm learning these lessons too. Please don't think because I'm talking about it on camera, I have it all figured out. I don't. I really don't. I'm learning with you guys. I'm with you guys on this journey. I'm just talking about my journey, and hopefully it can relate, right? Um, I feel like there's similar aspects that everyone kind of goes through. Here is a funny story. Here's a funny story, teacher. Little Johnny goes to the map and to find North America. Little Johnny, here it is. Teacher, good. Now, class, who discovered North America? Little Johnny. Oh, that's cute. Little Johnny discovered it. That's adorable, Alexis. That's good. So, Amber, if you would want to ask your questions, I would say go for it. And let's see what we can do for you, my friend. check in with ourselves, though. That's the one thing that I want us to do more of, is put our hand on our heart. We see how we're feeling. If we're feeling manic, if we're feeling anxious, I want us to put our hand here. I want us to focus on what we feel is the cause of that. Let's not use the words anxiety so much as using other words to describe it. So when we say anxiety, when we say anxiety, I feel like we're kind of giving anxiety too much power. And I feel like we're saying, well, it's just anxiety, there's nothing I can do. So I want us to focus on where this is coming from. I want us to focus on what this feeling is, what triggered it, different things like that. And eventually in time that gets easier too. A face and two hands but no arms or legs, that's a clock. That one is a clock. Or a free-floating circus clown with just a head and two arms. Or two hands. Just a head and two hands. I am going to say clock, though. I figured on the clock. What's black and white and red all over? Black and white and red all over. This one's a pretty easy one. Have writer's block. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. So let's address the first question here. Why didn't things work out with John? So let's look at these. At this. Let me actually use these other cards here. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to use the Love Tarot cards here and we'll see what we can come up with. Oh, so why didn't things work out with John? Let's see what we can get here. I understand. I understand, Amber. When we have closure, then we have a sense of, like, okay, and we can put it behind us. So I do understand wanting to start that part of our journey. So let's look here. Why didn't things work out with John? So I get these cards here. I get sexuality in reverse. Then I get the divine feminine upright. And then I get boundaries. So I'm going to say this. I feel like things didn't work out because he didn't respect your boundaries, or he didn't appreciate. I feel like there could be something where they're not appreciating you as a person. The boundaries coming up here is important because this one is upright. So I'm feeling like at some point, I feel like maybe you were asking, at some point he felt like you were asking too much, but I feel like you were asking just enough. But there was kind of that feeling of maybe feeling like it was too much, but it wasn't. I'm feeling like you were coming into your own sense of self. There's something here along those lines. But I do feel like this here is just you saying what you will and won't tolerate, or what was happening. Like you wanted evolution in the relationship. You wanted some sort of, like journey that you could take together, and the relationship was kind of that journey. And I feel like this guy just said kind of no to that and decided to do their own thing. That's what I'm feeling here. Does that resonate, Amber? It just feels like he didn't get you and your journey at that point in time. He didn't want to, or he didn't want to. He didn't have the capability to understand it. Got little dust here on the laptop, so I'm trying to get it cleaned here. Was it the sexuality in reverse one? I think that was the first one I pulled. Hey, buddy. So this right here, I can tell you right now, I feel like there was intimidation on this person's part because I feel like you had a sense of, I feel like there's a sense of honesty in the intimate connection that you would have, or a sense of like that kind of vulnerability, and I feel like this person wasn't able to go there. So that's why I feel like that's happening. When I see the sexuality in reverse, the boundaries, the divine feminine, it feels like to me, and this is no fault of yours at all, I feel like you were too much woman for this person to handle. And this person didn't know what to do, and so that's kind of what I'm feeling here. Kind of like a very, what would be, how would you describe that? Like someone who just doesn't know what they want out of life. And if there's someone else in their life that knows what they want, this person feels threatened, or this person feels like, uh-oh, kind of a thing. So to me, that's what I'm feeling with this John person, is like this person just didn't, they just didn't get it the way I would describe it. It's like right over. What's up with you? Do you want to say hi? You want to say hi to everybody? I think he's good. I think he's good on that. So let's look at that. Was Amber and John being different races an issue? So I get these two cards here, which this is funny. I get the Divine Masculine underneath the Divine Feminine, and then I get the Garden right here. And so if I'm looking at it like this, I feel like it was just too intimate of an encounter for this person. I feel like Amber, I do feel like you were asking for more honesty and vulnerability from this person, and I feel like I don't feel like it was in like a bad way or anything like that, but it was something this person couldn't do, is what I'm feeling. I don't feel the race had as much of an issue to be a part of this as this person just having a lot of what feels like unhealed stuff and things I don't feel like they would even want to look at, right? So this person had a tendency to just sort of be like, "Oh, I'll deal with that never," and then sort of hop on to the next issue. Um, so I am feeling like it was too strong of a connection for this person. They didn't understand. Kind of. I still don't feel like they understand who they are, but that's what I'm feeling here. Is that this person was just sort of not quite getting the connection, not quite understanding the connection. The divine masculine, the garden, and then the divine feminine. This gives me a feeling. It's almost like Adam and Eve vibes, and in that kind of scenario, you're the only two people on Earth. You know, they're gonna know everything about you. So it just feels to me like this person wasn't. They just weren't comfortable being themselves at all. Um, who is it that worked in government? Because I just heard government come in. Was he a government worker, or were you doing government work at that time? Because I had something with government come in. I will be right back. I just gotta go. I just gotta go take a little whiz. But I will be back. So give me just a second, you guys. Okay, so all right, so when I hear government from now on, I will take that because I'm still learning as a psychic. I'll take that as being some guy who, let's just call him a tight ass, okay? Because that's what I'm feeling. Um, so he avoided intimate encounters. He had this kind of energy, but he also didn't want you expressing yourself in any way. Like the dancing made him feel uneasy. So this person was way too reserved would be one word, but controlling would be another one that I would definitely throw out there. So that to me, yeah, that had nothing to do with you, Amber. That one had nothing to do with you. That was a situation where this person kind of came in, right? At that point in our life, there were lessons that we needed to learn. And I'm feeling like we were learning what we would and wouldn't tolerate in a relationship. So from that connection, you realized, oh, intimacy is important to me. You realized different parts about yourself. I feel like each of these connections, there's things we can realize. So it's not for nothing. Sometimes in a connection, we literally learn what we don't want in a person. And then sometimes we learn, you know what, I would actually like this in a person instead. So it's kind of like we get to experience different scenarios and then eventually decide what we want to do with that. But that's what I'm getting here. So does that help answer that question, Amber? And you're good, Amber. Don't. Yeah. You're not stereotyping. You're good. You're good. I'm not even a little worried about that. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay. So I can look at the Brad individual here. Just give me a second. How does Bradley feel towards me now? Is he still sabotaging? Okay. How does Bradley feel towards Amber right now? My cat's playing with a baby baby Yoda head over on the. It's like a toy. It is a toy. He didn't actually kill Baby Yoda, and he's playing with this decapitated head. But it's just cute to watch him play. Okay, so let's do this here. How does Bradley feel towards me now? So let's look at that. How does Bradley feel towards Amber now? So I'll do 2 cards on this one. We'll see how he's feeling, and then we'll do another one to see if he's still sabotaging. How is Bradley feeling about Amber now? Let's do one more shuffle here. Okay. And is he still self-sabotaging? So I'm wondering if Bradley's been reaching out or if something's been going on. I get the creativity for how he's feeling with you. But then when I see is he still self-sabotaging, I get chivalry in reverse. So to me that's yes. I feel like there's a level here where this person is duping themselves into behaving a certain way or acting a certain way that is very unbecoming. So that's what I'm seeing for this connection right now. The creativity, though, is making me think there's a connection here, but the chivalry in reverse is making me think that it's the same lesson, but it's like the same person, but the packaging is a little bit different. Let me put it that way. Hey, Bradley. So I don't do super chats at this point in time. I do Cash App and PayPal, but I don't do super chats. So sorry about that, my friend. But thank you for asking first instead of donating. Uh, just directly. I do appreciate that. So is that making sense, Amber? Oh, other members have been reaching out, but he avoids me. He was like a father figure to me at one point. Okay, so that makes sense. The creativity, right? That makes sense on that, and then the chivalry in reverse. So it's still the same person. It's still the same person because we have the creativity. Chivalry in reverse to me would be like stealing, or you could have like thievery. You could have someone who is just backstabbing. Would be another way to describe that. So I could definitely see that being the case. And yeah, he's still sabotaging. He is definitely still sabotaging. So I would say let this person, you know, live their life the way they want to, and, I wish them all the worst, and then we can go from there. You don't do that to people, basically. That's. I feel like he's tried to stop me from working. He's moving this weekend. Part of me wants to say goodbye, but I have mixed feelings. Amber, don't, in my opinion. Okay, I usually don't give advice. It's like strictly like, please don't do that. But in that situation, this person has put you through so much that I feel like to go there to say goodbye is still saying to this person, I still appreciate you. I'm still in your life. It's welcoming an invitation for this person to come back in your life. Because when you go to say goodbye to him, that could definitely mean saying hello on Facebook eventually. And that could eventually be having this person coming back into our lives in some way, or saying hello at social media in some way. So, in my opinion on that one, he doesn't deserve any more of your time. He betrayed you once. Was it his idea to remove me from the group? Let's look. Was it Brad's idea to remove Amber from the group? Was it Brad's idea to remove Amber from the group? Let's see. So we get these two cards. We have self-respect in reverse and emotional freedom upright. So I don't know if it was necessarily his idea to start with, but I don't feel like he had any reservations. When I see self-respect and emotional freedom, this person felt like it was the right thing for them to do. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here. I get the feeling that, like I said, even if it wasn't his idea, I don't feel like he was necessarily opposed to it. So it feels like there's something here. I would say, Amber, really, like, go on your healing journey with this, with what's going on. And later on, if you want to catch up, if you feel like that's the right move, go for it. You can do whatever you want. These are just, this is just a suggestion. Hi, Maxine. How are you doing? But I personally, Amber, I would stay focused on your healing journey. I feel like that situation that you went through is still very fresh, and you're focusing probably on healing past wounds right now. And I want you to focus mainly on that primarily for now, right? You can, again, these are just suggestions, um, but that's what I feel like would be a good use of your time at this point in time, because these more recent ones we can work on when we've kind of built up a stronger foundation, when we've understood and reparented parts of ourselves. Then we can focus on things that have happened in our adult life. But right now, I feel like we're focusing more on, maybe we're healing the childhood. We're trying to focus on healing from the core issues, but was also complicit. His wife keeps reaching out to me. She was always nice, but was also complicit. So in this situation, Amber, right? Um, I would say just kind of follow what you want to do. And if it really comes down to it, if they're like, do you want to come say goodbye if something's going on, just say that you would, but there's something going on. Basically, I don't condone lying, but when we're dealing with people that have narcissistic tendencies, I don't want us to be in a situation where they can affect us negatively, or they could re-trigger us. Seeing this person again, having something happen could re-trigger us and start us on a bad path. And so I feel like the best thing for us to do would be to say we have something going on, or we just can't make it, or we're out of town, or whatever it is we have to do. Again, I don't condone lying, but when we're dealing with these kinds of situations or these kinds of people, self-preservation is our best form of defense. Um, I mean, that's how I feel about that. So it's tricky. It is tricky, but really, self-preservation to me is kind of the top one. Does that make sense, Amber? Jeez. I'm coming right back. I won't even do the pausing thing that I do, because I'll be back that fast. Whoa, nice one. 4 people. Wow. That's synchronicity if I've ever heard it. All right, hold on, guys. Let's see here. So hopefully that helps with that question, Amber. If you want to go a little bit deeper, we can, just because I understand that we're going to be coming at it from an angle of not wanting to upset somebody, not wanting to hurt someone's feelings, not wanting to do that. But again, the self-preservation is important. When we start incorporating and integrating ourselves back through the healing that you're going to be going on, Amber, when we start to become more and more whole, you'll realize the things that you put up with before are no longer acceptable, and you'll understand so much more of yourself because you're on that healing journey, and you'll understand why people did the things they did. You'll have a better understanding of what's going on in your life and what we can do to focus on our journey in life and not making it all about the people who hurt us, because we're focusing on healing. um, and that's something that we can do as time goes on, but it's a journey, it's a process. And they will be. They will be because obviously that's what we have. That's what we have to put ourselves in the past. Um, sorry if there's a kind of an annoying sound in the background. Eventually it will stop. Um, but I do feel that when we're on the healing journey, it is the relationships from the past. It's everything from when we were very young, kind of up to the present moment, where we're focusing and we're trying to understand who we were then, so that we can understand who we are now. And again, that becomes easier with time. And we will realize that we've made the same mistakes, possibly repeatedly or many times. And that part, that's not the important part. There, in fact, us focusing on healing now is showing how much we want to improve. Sometimes when we're on this journey, it feels like we're stuck, but eventually we start to make progress, and even the things that we did repeatedly, we can change. Things can change for us, but we have to take accountability and responsibility now. And so that's kind of why it's a difficult journey, is because we're checking in with ourselves after being on autopilot for so long and having things happen to us. We didn't know that there was possibly another way for us to live our life. And so that's kind of what I'm seeing there. Okay, so hopefully that helps with that question, and we can go on to the next one here. Because this one, the writer's block one, this is an interesting one. Okay, so the next question here. The writer's block one is something that's really interesting, and one that we can address. So when we're talking about writer's block, we're talking about the ability to maybe we don't feel like we can express ourselves properly, right, on pen and paper, or maybe we feel like we just don't have that thing that's making us want to write in the first place. The best thing that we can do to sort of get out of that writer's block situation, from my point of view, is learning new things is one of them. Going to classes from people, trying to get ourselves immersed in a different way of thinking or being. And so something that we would never consider ourselves doing, maybe we try it out and we see what that's like. Introducing new ideas when we're having writer's block, or we're having something going on creatively with us, helps us to understand our own vision and our own voice better. So signing up for a class to do something we've never done before or thought we would never do, basically trying something new is going to get us out of our head and be able to approach life in a fresh new way. Possibly, like I said, just anything new, anything kind of different, that can sort of shock our system into thinking in a different way, because I feel like the reason we get writer's block is because we've hit a certain level, we've hit a certain threshold of understanding ourselves. And so when we try new things, there's more to write about, there's more to experience. And because of that fresh new perspective, we can focus on bringing new things into our kind of our horizon. I can also look psychically and see if there's anything going on that way, but yeah. You want to showcase your best. Okay, so when we're talking about acting, so we can learn more through, I feel like poetry, other people who have already done it, but I feel like having new experiences, that's going to be good for your acting too, because sometimes we might want to have a character that is a certain way, and maybe we can learn something from another class, or maybe we can learn something from a teacher or in an environment that's different. We put ourselves in different environments, we kind of let our imagination run wild, and then we can understand these characters better that we're wanting to create. So if you're wanting to create, if you're wanting to do something with characters, um, what would these characters do? And then immerse yourself in that role. Or what would you want them to possibly do? What would be their profession? Like, the sky's the limit here, and we can do all sorts of things where we're putting ourselves in new situations and kind of learning something new. And from there, we can again understand that part better. That to me is going to be what we're looking for here. But let's look here. So Amber, can I connect? Well, the last question was a psychic question, so I'll connect psychically and see if I can get anything. Oh. Awesome. Awesome. So, Maxine, so are you wanting to ask a question? I'm wondering if you were wanting to do a question because I saw that you paid. But, what was I going to do here? So, is that making sense so far, Amber, what I was saying? Oh, Maxine, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That was very kind of you. Thank you. I really do appreciate that, my friend. Definitely all that helps to support the channel in such a big way. And we can talk. We'll probably have more time for story time tonight as well, so be prepared. Yes, it just feels so overwhelming. I want to showcase something that could potentially get me work. Okay, so this is something. This is where it becomes difficult, doesn't it, Amber? So we're wanting to make. Okay. We're wanting to create something that could possibly get us work. So I feel like as long as we have that mentality towards it, we're not going to create what it is that we want to create because we're wanting to get work from it. We're wanting to get paid for it, which is, there's nothing wrong with getting paid. That's not where this is going. Absolutely get paid for your work. Get paid for your worth. And I feel like right here that I had it just a second ago. Absolutely get paid for your work. Absolutely get paid for your worth, right? I'm all about that. I believe that 100%. But we need to focus on the creative part first, and then I feel like the money can come in after, right? So the creativity part. Because when we're focusing on making money with creative endeavors, I feel like sometimes that can muddy up the water, so to speak. I feel like it's best to approach it in a way where we get immersed. I don't know how they want to see me. Okay, so let's see what I can get here. So let's do a little bit more. I'll do a psychic reading here. And we'll see what we can get. Okay. Okay. I'm almost wondering, Amber, the first thing I'm seeing is, and maybe this is too personal, but you're going through this kind of transformation and change in your life right now. I'm wondering if you can put that into a story with some characters. I feel like that could help you better immerse yourself and understand it. Almost, and maybe not for the sake of. I feel like you could make money with it. I do feel like the stuff you're going through would be something that other people could relate with, but again, that's kind of a personal journey. But I am feeling like that would be something to write about. Maybe putting emotions or putting feelings in here, having a character kind of coming to know their own self-worth or coming to understand something. So, like a hardship kind of thing, where a character has to come through, they have to understand themselves better. Um, I feel like that would also be a good way to get things out on paper, and we can also use those characters as a lens into ourselves to see more about our own situation, right? Um, Again, though, that is personal. That's. But what do you think of that as kind of an avenue? Because that was the first thing that kind of popped in, and I'm feeling like that would be a possibility, maybe. Because I know that acting is all about bringing in that raw emotion. What you're going through now is raw emotion, right? And I feel like you're in touch with something right now. I feel like we put that on paper, we put pen to paper, we write different characters, different stories. I feel like that is a good way to focus on, and that's going to be kind of a therapy as well that we can focus on because we're sort of channeling characters, we're channeling these ideas, and then we can sort of see through a different lens. So, I mean that could be a possibility, but I feel like this is a moment in your life where you are in that raw space. And I feel like a lot of actors, I feel like a lot of people want to be in a space where they can draw inspiration. And sometimes pain is an amazing teacher. And especially through those kinds of stories, the hardships, the different things like that, people can relate to it. And I feel like that could be something that could be, that could be special. That could be something it's deeply personal, but it also tells other people's story. You look beautiful, they will see you this way. There you go. There you go. Absolutely. There's a quiet sense of strength here. It's not even quiet. Not really. I do feel like there's a sense of strength here. There's a strong person here. And we can use that. We can use the characters to tell a story in a way that's like I'm saying, it's personal, but we can also transmute it into another story to make it so that we get to see how that goes. We can also draw on inspiration from, I mean, there can be books, there can be other movies that we can draw inspiration from. If we want to see that kind of story play out, there is other forms of media that we can look at. And the more you're learning, Amber, the more you're learning your journey, the better you can make characters. When we're healing from these kinds of wounds, we can actually understand the emotional impact of what's going on, and we can make characters that reflect that. So this is a way to take the emotions, to take the things we're learning, and take it to that next step. Because if you're looking for character development, you have it all right here. We can learn so much from the pain that we've gone through, from different things that have happened in our life, and we can, we can make something with that. Sort of transmute that energy in another way. Hopefully that helps, Amber. You're very welcome, Amber. Very, very welcome. Okay, so I'm going to move these cards over here. Move these over here. And until some more people come in, we can do a little story time. We can just talk. And you're always welcome here, Amber. I appreciate you coming on and talking with me and sharing your journey with not only me but other people, right? You're doing something in a way that I feel like is showing humanity, and I feel more people should do that. I feel if we put everything out there, then we can understand things better, but we also get to see that being human sometimes is messy, and that's the beautiful part of it. That's kind of the part where we discover ourselves, we discover that trueness within us. And yeah, I just think it's beautiful you're on here and you're doing this. And yes, I have all of the hope, all of the hope in the world that things will get a lot better for you. But it's just, this part right here, this is where we're learning, and we're learning things, and it stings and it stings and it stings, but then eventually it stops. It stops hurting, and we start understanding things. And eventually, Amber, we stop taking it, we eventually stop taking it so personally, and then we can start to heal even more from that too. Because at first it feels like it's just too much, but eventually we get used to it, we understand it, we overcome it. We don't stay where we're at now. Right now we're kind of licking our wounds a little bit. Eventually we stand up, we see ourselves for who we are. We start understanding self-love and self-respect so much more, and how much we're actually worth. And then that's when the real transformation and real stuff starts happening. And then we can focus on attracting our dream partner. We can focus on attracting people in our lives that are there for us. We can focus on having all of this stuff that we've always wanted. It's Cancer season. The sweet fourth house is here. Yeah, well, so Maxine, explain the fourth house to me. Just because I do tarot and a little bit of psychic and mediumship, I don't necessarily understand astrology uh, the way you're talking about it. So what does the fourth house mean? Okay, I know that one. I do know Cancer is the moon. I know that one. And Amber is a Cancer. And so that you're feeling things deeply too, Amber. That's another thing. But that can also make for a good playwright or a good screenwrite. That can also make for something, because the emotional feeling translates into and that unspoken language that you'll see in shows, you'll see in movies. Home and family, Mother Earth. Ah, okay. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Hmm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Okay, so we do this here. And either Maxine or Amber, if you guys have a topic that you'd want me to talk about or do something along those lines, we can do that. If not, I can definitely pick something out. I have a lot of little anecdotes. I know a little bit of most spiritual things. I feel like most like spiritual practices that I'm aware of anyway. I know a little bit. I need to learn more astrology, and I need to learn more like numerology, astrology. That stuff is interesting, but for me, it's a little more confusing. I feel like my brain just doesn't work that way, so it's never appealed to me in that way, but I view it as a very good practice. It's just harder for me to understand it. Yeah. Okay, so let's do this. Let's see. You choose. I love story time. Okay, Maxine, let me think here. See what we got to talk about. Okay. So when it comes to the story time, when it comes to this story time, I want us to focus on healing. Energy healing, but this can also be applied to just healing in general. But I feel like this is important for us to focus on because I feel there is a few ways that we can learn things, right? Or there's a few ways that humans live. I feel like in our lives we're either existing, which means we're just going through the day to day, we're not really paying it too much mind, resisting, which is us going against the grain and us trying to really try hard to get things going, but we're trying so hard and we're getting burned out, or absorbing, right? And I feel like between these three stages we have life, we have human life. And when we're in the absorbing stage, that's when things are going well for us. And when we're kind of just we're an observer, but we're also an absorber because we're taking in the information and we're kind of holding on to that. We're trying to learn from it. These ways, I feel like it's a good way to learn. It's a good way to be. Um, but when we're focusing on the healing journey, when we're focusing on energy healing in particular, we're looking at trying to unite something that is in discordance with itself. So when we're talking about energy healing, we're trying to unite an injured part of the body. Usually it's physical, there can be emotional healing too, but we're trying to unite an injured part of the body with the rest of the body. We're sort of trying to have a handshake go on. We're trying to have a connection go on where the body is realizing where the energy needs to go, what's happening. And so it's kind of like we're focusing on a vibration, or we're focusing on an energy. And if you guys have watched, I have a video on my Patreon where I talk about feeling energy and what that kind of entails. And a lot of times when we're feeling energy, there can be different sensations. So it can feel like magnetic, it can feel expansive, like it feels like there's something big in your hand. It can feel like there's a dense energy in your hand, like there's a denseness, like you're holding onto something and it feels like there's weight. It can feel like your hand is wrapped in a fog or like an energetic kind of thing. And it can even feel like a breeze or static. It can feel, there's tons of ways energy can feel. But the one way that I feel is no matter how we interpret the energy, no matter how we feel the energy, we have to allow it to work through us. So if we're an energy healer, so if I'm doing energy work on somebody, the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure the person's comfortable, obviously. In a quiet environment, we want to make sure we're in a quiet environment too. But we want to be in a place where we're feeling even keeled. We're feeling like we can handle doing some energy work, because in order to do the energy work in the first place, we have to be pretty centered ourselves. Sort of self-centered, but for a good reason this time, right? So this is us setting time aside, us setting kind of a a sense, or us giving ourselves a sense of security before we start this. Like, we understand what we're doing. We let the other person know that we're gonna send some energy their way. And that's another thing too when we're talking about energy healing, is a lot of people will say, they'll ask, okay, so can you send energy to this person? Can you do this for so and so? And what I'll say is this: I will say, I will send it, because a lot of times you'll do energy work for people, and the person that you're sending it to doesn't know that they're getting energy in the first place. So what I tend to do is I say this: I'll send it to the person, even if it's against their will, even if they don't necessarily believe in energy work, but it's up to them or their higher self to accept it, right? Because if we're sending energy to someone and we're forcing them to take that energy, we could actually be making it so that they heal quicker, which that doesn't sound like a bad thing, but maybe the injury that was going on was to help them learn some life lessons. Maybe they get hurt and they have to realize that they realize that they need to rely on family more, and that can help them become a better person. They realize that family is actually there for them, and they can learn something from that. So then an injury in some people teaches them patience, and it teaches them how to be kinder, because they have to rely on other people to meet their needs. And because that's the case, hopefully they can learn some life lessons from that. And so when we're doing energy work for people, we want to make sure that the other person has the opportunity to reject it if they want to. So I send it, but it's up to them if they want to take it or not. So I do the work. They get to decide if it's something they want to do. So that's another thing we have to keep in mind: the will of the person. We have to keep in mind the will of the individual that we're sending energy to. If they're meant to receive it, they're meant to receive it. Another thing is, when we're focusing on sending energy, is that we tend to focus so much on us sending the energy that I feel like that kind of, we step in our own way. Okay, so what does that look like, stepping in our own way? That would be me sending energy to somebody, and I'm trying to guide the whole process. So I'm sending them golden light. I'm doing whatever I need to do, right? I'm sending golden light. I'm sending love. I'm sending the good vibrations, stuff like that. But then I'm also sending it in kind of a forced way. I'm trying to guide the energy instead of letting it build up and flow where it needs to go to this person naturally. I'm trying to control it. And the more we try to control these spiritual principles, the less we actually can do with it. Because when we step into that control mentality, we're literally telling the universe, I know how to do it better. And the universe says, okay, show me. And we never can. We never can. The universe is always kind of in charge of that, and it knows where that energy needs to go, and it knows how it needs to get there. So we kind of need to take a step back, send the energy, and be very calm, very centered when we send the energy, and we're not holding on to it. We're not having this be something that is, we're basically not holding on to it. We're not trying to stagger ourselves. We're not trying to do anything with this energy besides just send it where it needs to go, and the universe knows. That's how I work, is when I send energy, I kind of let the universe take it, or my guides take it, and they give it where it needs to go, so the person can heal in that way. So when we're talking about that, I feel like that's important. And another thing is, a lot of times when we're doing what's called running energy, or we're sending the energy, you'll feel energy build up in your hands, maybe in your third eye. You'll feel like energy build up. You'll feel a link with the person, and it's kind of hard to describe it, but you will feel a link. You'll feel like there's something going on. There's an exchange, right? I believe we're all quantum, and so that exchange, that is the spooky action at a distance, as Einstein called it, I believe. But it's like this quantum energy exchange. So when we're sending energy to a person, they're kind of affecting us too. In actuality, when we are sending energy to someone, we're healing ourselves as well. So we're sending out that energy, we're getting back some energy. So it's for our best interest to actually send the energy, because we do get some of it back as well. Now, with that being said, so is that making sense so far, you guys? Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Maxine. Very, very nice of you to say that. Okay. So that being said, you guys, we can try this ourselves. So we can create a little ball of energy, right? And this is something that's really fascinating. So these little balls of energy, they're called like psi balls, PSI uh, balls. Anyway, but when we're focusing on creating this kind of energy, like I said, we let ourselves kind of relax, we let ourselves get into this state, but we can focus energy in our hands, we can focus it for a while, and then we can visualize that energy doing something for us. And this can be emotional healing, this can be whatever it is we want to do with this energy, but we're focusing and we're kind of creating an intent and we're imbuing that energy with our will. So that's why in mediumship we're focused on the third chakra, the solar plexus, the fire chakra. That is will. And the willpower that we have when we're focusing energy, that's something that's really powerful. So that's why we have the first chakra, it's identity, it's strength, it's kind of that security, right? It's earth. The second chakra is about choice, it's water, and it's about flowing, and it's about dancing, and it's about kind of the relationship with self through self-expression. Okay. The third chakra is the solar plexus chakra. Okay. Sol meaning sun. SOL means sun, or shit out of luck. Either one works. But SOL meaning sun is kind of like the solar plexus. So we're talking about a sun center. We're talking about a bunch of energy, the fire center, that is the solar plexus. It is willpower. So if the second chakra was making choices, okay, because it's flowing and it's making choices, it's adaptable. The third chakra is sticking with those choices and saying, I'm doing it this way and I'm going at it this way. So it's having that willpower, it's having that drive, that purpose to continue. And also the third chakra is about purpose as well. So the fourth chakra is the heart chakra. These two chakras, in between these two chakras, in my opinion, this is where the healing happens. This is where our healing center kind of comes into play. So when we're focused on the heart chakra, this is air, and then we have the solar plexus chakra, which is fire. Okay, we're sort of fanning the flames, so to speak. But the way I would envision it is like this: we're going from a place of willing the energy that we're focusing on into existence, into letting go of that energy, to let it do what it needs to do. I want you to imagine it like this. Energy healing is the kind of an analogy of you see a bird lands in your hands, okay? The bird lands in your hands, and you look at the bird, and you're like, oh, I love birds. And so you grab the bird, and you're like squeezing it. You're trying to love it. You're trying to hug it. You're trying to do whatever you can. And you're squeezing it too hard, and you kind of kill it. You kill the bird, okay? Then we have a dead bird in our hands. And don't kill birds is basically the message I'm trying to say. Actually, what I'm trying to say is this. So we have the bird in our hand. The bird is beautiful. The bird is a symbol of freedom. The bird is this gorgeous kind of symbol. When it is in our hand, it is saying, please be careful with me. I'm fragile, right? I have this freedom. I have all these things I can do, but I'm choosing to be here in this moment with you. When we cage the bird, or when we capture the bird, and we no longer make it able to fly, that gets rid of what the bird is. That gets rid of that freedom. So when we're focusing on energy healing, it's kind of like holding that bird in our hand and allowing it to fly whenever it wants to. We're not controlling it. We're allowing it to be with us, and we're allowing us to be with it. So that's kind of how I would focus on energy healing, is like holding a bird, holding something that's fragile. Awesome, Maxine. Awesome. That's good. That's good. So you're going to have a lot. The chakra alignments are really good. That's a good idea to focus on. But doing any of this stuff is gonna anything spiritual is gonna bring us more spiritual experiences. So it's important to focus on what it is we want to accomplish, on kind of where we're going, so to speak. Because we can't, and a lot of times, I feel like we get caught up in the modality, we get caught up in different things. I'm self-taught with a lot of my abilities, with how I've worked, and it's allowed me to be adaptable to new ways of thinking and new ways of teaching. So I'll see something that someone else is doing and I'll say, I like that. I'll put that into my own practice. Or like nobody's original anymore. Everyone is copying everyone else, and we need to be okay with that because that's being human, in my opinion. We can innovate, we can change things every now and again, but ultimately we find what works for us and we make it better. We try to make a little we try to make it a little bit better for us, a little bit more personal for us with our own energy healing and our own healing journey. So, um, when we're focusing on healing, though, the energy part, the energy aspect of it, um, are you guys wanting to do a little exercise where we're focusing on doing some energy work? I just want to know if everyone would be okay with that. If not, that's okay too, but absolutely, Amber says. Okay, so let me go again to the bathroom. I'm coming right back. Everybody, awesome. Okay, so when I come back, we'll do some exercises. Okay, I want you guys to get as relaxed as you can while I'm gone, and let yourself sort of feel the flow around you. So when I'm talking about feeling the flow, focus on the atmosphere around your body. That's kind of where we're gonna start. So I'll be right back. You guys stay tuned. I will be back. Oh, you guys, thank you, Maxine. And thank you, Amber. I appreciate you guys so much. I really do. It's you guys that make it a great community, and you guys that have helped make it a great channel. Something that I look forward to coming on here and doing. So I really appreciate you guys. Okay, so let's kind of jump right in here, and let me do this here. Let's see. There we go. A little bit more zoomed in, a little bit more going on here. So we don't need cameras have a hard time focusing here. We definitely don't need a all right. Okay, we definitely don't need anything to do this exercise. A lot of people will say we need crystals or we need this or that. I do personally use crystals, but you don't need to have crystals. If for some reason we don't have anything available with us, we'll do this one kind of au naturel, okay? And so, in my opinion, crystals are great. A lot of the stuff out there is great. It's good stuff. But do we need it to be healers? No. The main thing we need is intention and the ability to want change, the ability to want that. So what this can look like, what energy healing can look like before we get started, I'm going to talk about intention. I'm going to mention this. I'm going to mention intention. So let's see what we can do here. The first thing is if it's hard for us to, because some of us could be dealing with a closed off kind of heart sort of situation. And this is something where we were very compassionate, very kind, very empathetic, but we're feeling burned out. So what we can do if that's kind of the case when we're starting our energy healing journey is that we're not broken, nothing's wrong with us. We're just having a little emotional burnout. Nothing wrong there. Just we need to focus on this a little bit. The best thing that we can do to start this off is to, instead of focusing on love and light and all of that kind of stuff, if that's harder for us to envision at this point in time, is that we can allow ourselves to instead take on the sister emotion of love and light. Okay, something that isn't love but closely related to love, curiosity, is one of those things that if we are curious about something, we tend to want to see what happens. We're curious of the potentiality of something. And in my opinion, being curious, allowing ourselves to be openly curious, is to have the best experience, because the universe loves curiosity. The universe loves having something that it's observing. And if curiosity is there, to me, it's kind of the sister emotion to love. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense so far. If it's difficult for us to imagine this, allow yourself to just be curious of what's going on, and that should allow us to focus on these kinds of teachings a little bit more. Just as an in case, right? Okay, so let's move on to this part right here. So we're going to be talking about healing, energy healing. We're going to be doing an exercise. So like I said, this just requires us being present with ourselves as much as we can, and just kind of focusing on that energy. So to start us off, we're going to do this. I want you to take your, it doesn't matter. I sound like I'm underwater? Maybe I need to move closer. Do I sound better now, Amber? It's hard with this sometimes because you feel like you're okay, and then, but thank you for telling me that I sounded that way, because I hate sounding that underwater thing, or like I sound like I'm in a tin can. Not my favorite way to sound. So the only thing I can really do is move closer to the microphone at this point, because once I start doing the live, I can't change any sound settings. I appreciate you telling me though. The sound is weird. Okay. Let me see here. There's only one other thing I can do, so bear with me, guys, and let's see what I can do here. How does that sound? Does that sound better or worse? I guess I can change one sound setting here, so I might actually be able to do this. So you guys tell me, better or worse? I'll keep talking, I'll keep yakking. I'm good at that part. Same. Okay, let's do this then. Alright, how does this sound? Does this sound the same? More muffled, less muffled? The other thing we might have to do is I might have to end the stream and then start it up again. But hopefully you guys will be right there when I start back up again, because then we can go into this exercise. It's up to you though. I mean, if it still sounds kind of strange. Okay, let's do that. I'll go out and come back in. Let's give that a shot. Okay, I will